wasn't as bad as I expected. But there it was. I'm used to it up on the third deck, where it is very loud. A little bit about Boston. Boston was founded on the Shawmut Peninsula, Shawmut meaning living waters, for the many freshwater springs that flowed between the three hills Boston was founded on, Fort, Copse, and Beacon Hill. Only Beacon Hill still stands today, although it is 65 feet shorter than it once was. You may be wondering what happened to all these hills. Well, you can see them all around you. If you look to your right and to your left, everything you can see is built on man-made land. 3/4 of the Boston we know today is built on entirely man-made land, used from the dirt from those hills in a process called wharfing out, where they would push the dirt from the hills in between the wharves, making them appear much shorter. A dead giveaway of this wharfing out process is all this rock retaining wall. You're going to see it all around the harbor. I will be pointing it out to you several times. You will all be experts on the man-made land here in Boston by the time this tour is finished. During the tour, you're welcome to move about the boat. Once again, my name is Casey. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. You can see here, off the right side, the New England Aquarium, one of the oldest aquariums in New England. It's got a great multi-story tank in the center. You can see skin divers going down and feeding the thousands of species of fish they host there in the aquarium. Also, if you walk right up to the front, you can see the harbor seals, free of charge. One of my favorite sites down here at the harbor. The aquarium is built in the brutalist structure, which accounts for all those angular shapes you'll see. Over here to the right, you'll see this rusted iron bridge. This is the Northern Avenue Bridge, designed in 1905 by a group of MIT students. It's a turnstile bridge, and not the best thing MIT has ever designed. It takes a full 20 minutes to turn on its axis to let boats through. There's only two kind of bridges like this in the country. The other one is located in New Bedford, Massachusetts. And behind the Northern Avenue Bridge is Griffin's Wharf. Griffin's Wharf was made famous when on December 16, 1773, some 350 colonists boarded 3 Nantucket merchant ships and threw the cargo overboard. This cargo was tea. This is the site of the Boston Tea Party. The colonists were protesting taxation without representation. King George, or Mad King George as he was called, sent 5,000 troops over to Griffin's Wharf to crush this rebellion and instigated martial law on the colonists, which angered them greatly. It's one of the largest events that led up to what became the American Revolution. Everything to the left of the Northern Avenue Bridge is South Boston, or what was once called South Bay. All of South Boston is built on man-made land. And you will note the rock retaining wall going all the way around it. On our right here, we're passing by Fan Pier, named because it is a pier shaped like a fan. You will notice on the tour, Bostonians had a pretty clever way of naming things. This brick building with the sloping glass front, this is the Joseph Moakley Federal Courthouse. Some of my favorite symbolism out here in the harbor. The sloping glass front is meant to represent a wave of justice overtaking the city. The large construction project you see next to the federal courthouse, this is going to be the Vertex Pharmaceutical Research Facility. And it's projects like these that have given this part of Boston its name, the Innovation District, named by Mayor Menino. We have a unique opportunity today. This black-hulled vessel off to our right, this is an Essex-built schooner. It's built in the 1920s. There's only 5 kind of vessels like this left in the world. In Scottish, to schoon is to skip along the water. That's why they're named schooners. On our right, this glass cube building. This is is the ICA, or the Institute of Contemporary Art. It's the cultural anchor of the Seaport District. It hosts 4 exhibits a year. One of my favorites in 2009 was Shepard Fairey. Shepard Fairey is a well-known graffiti artist and also most famous for designing Obama's 2008 campaign logo, the Yes We Can. On the way to his own exhibit, Shepard Fairey was arrested in the parking lot on outstanding graffiti warrants. This restaurant you see here to your right with the green and white awning, this is Anthony's Pier 4. Named because it was owned by a man named Anthony and it sits on Pier 4. Again with the clever naming system. When Anthony first opened the restaurant, he offered every cabbie in the city a free lunch. So of course, when people coming into Boston ask the cabbies where was the best place to get seafood, they all say, hey, go down to Anthony's Pier 4. Pretty smart advertising move. The accent is still a work in progress. On our right, we're passing by Commonwealth Pier. The building with the flags is Boston's World Trade Center. It hosts many World Trade shows throughout the year, the most famous being the In-Water Wooden Boat Show. And we actually just missed the Beer and Bacon Festival that happens in spring. Commonwealth Pier used to be home to many transatlantic cruise liners. You can see what one of those would have looked like on the little picture on the front. Huge vessels like the Queen Mary and the Queen Elizabeth have both docked here. If you have any Californians on board, the Queen Mary is currently docked in Long Beach, California, Southern California, and she's said to be one of the most haunted places in America. On our right now is Boston's Fish Pier. It's the oldest fish pier in the country. These vessels docked on either side are called stern draggers, as they drag nets off their stern. They go all the way out to George's Bank, about 150 miles from here. They're some of the richest fishing in the country. It's being overfished for a while. The government put strict rules that only U.S. vessels could fish there and under more restrictions. Stern draggers bring the fish back here to the fish pier where they are weighed, processed, and shipped out to New England and the rest of the world. Behind the fish pier is the No Name restaurant. It didn't have an official name for years. People would go in and ask, what's the name of this restaurant? The guy at the counter would say, no name, just eat. It has since been officially titled the No Name Restaurant. Speaking of good restaurants, we've got Legal Seafood Harborside over here to our right. On the 3rd floor, there's a retractable glass roof. And this white tented structure over here to our right, this is the Bank of America Pavilion. They host a great summer concert series. Ringo Starr and the Beach Boys will be making an appearance this summer. Now on our right, where you see this fish structure on top of this building, is the Legal Seafood Quality Control Center. We're now cruising by the entrance to the inner harbor. In the outer harbor, you can see some of Boston's many islands. Boston has 34 islands, 33 at high tide. I invite you, if you have the time, to take our 90-minute cruise where we go out to the outer harbor and hear some of the history of those islands. Pretty interesting stuff. Where you see this plane landing off to our right, this is Logan International Airport. To resemble a Nantucket lighthouse. It's so convincing, in fact, at night they have to dim the lights as not to confuse ship captains and pilots. The blue awning came to America for the first time. Boston got a lot of immigrants coming through here, especially a lot of Irish immigrants came through the old immigration hall, which no longer stands. They were helping people go up the golden stairs into the land of golden opportunity.